Ladies and gentlemen, I am super excited about this episode because we are talking about something that I care a lot about. Building startups with little or no money. If you want to know how, you'll want to stay tuned. Here we go. What I'm really excited about is
Because there in the shades of gray at the intersection is where change in life.
welcome to the Ask Dan Ram Show. Let's go. Chill out, Dan. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dublin City. I should be a host for a TV show. And welcome to the second episode of the Ask Dan Ram Show. Get rid of this cowboy hat because it's going to fly off with the wind. But today I want to talk about one of the most frequently asked questions. Dan, how do you raise money for your startup? Let me be clear, fundraising is the second hardest thing. The hardest thing about building a startup is building stuff that people actually want. Once you've nailed that, the second strongest killer for a startup is fundraising. Let's just be clear, fundraising is brutal. Which is why, although I have fundraised and collaborated on hundreds of millions of dollars worth of funding, I always start my own startups with the concept of, boom, bootstrapping. Bootstrapping is the idea of pulling oneself up by their own bootstraps. It's when you use your own resources, which in my case is significantly less than hundreds of millions of dollars, into building a startup that one day will hopefully be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm going to give you 10 top tips. This episode I'm doing 5, next episode I'm doing 5, and by then you can start building your business with no excuses, right where you are, in your bedrooms, in your coffee shops, so what you got. So here we go. Number one, cash is king. The theory is that profitability margins is great for success. You can't pay bills with theories. You pay bills with cash. So find the low-hanging fruits that are offering you cash and aim for them. How do you do that? Shorten the payment cycle. The moment from when you give an invoice to when you get the payment. Shorten the sales cycle from the moment you pitch to a person to when they become a customer. Avoid startups that have a huge upfront capital cost. You don't have money for that. And aim for recurring revenue. Cash is king, it's queen, and it's prince too for the bootstrapper. Number 2, service versus product. Maybe you're building a software in your secret lab. In the meanwhile, why don't you go use your expertise and consult for companies and for people that hopefully one day will turn into clients. 1, it gives you advice and feedback on your product, and 2, you start them early and become your customer, because if you have won their support as their consultant, hopefully you'll win their support in buying your product as well. Number 3, you don't need the big shots. I know to an investor it looks super impressive when you say, hey, ex-Google employee working for us. This guy who worked for a $1 billion company working for us. Here's the problem. They also have a $1 billion lifestyle that you can't afford on a bootstrapping budget. Ain't nobody got time for that. Use people who are young, who are cheap, and who want to prove themselves. Make them into your star employees. And once you've done that, then you can hire adult supervision from a $1 billion company. Number 4, I talked about this last week, fire, then aim. And in this sense, ship, then test. I know I'm going to get some criticism, so let me explain what I mean. Perfection is the enemy of good enough. Good enough starts making you money. When you have a product that is good enough, get it to your customers. Your customers will then give you feedback. Your feedback is ultimately what will help you make a perfect product. If you just sit in your lab building something perfect, it might not be perfect because you're not listening to your customer. So get something that is good enough, put aside your perfectionist streak, and then you've got a product with their feedback that will one day be perfect. And last of all is this concept of bottom up. Now, a couple years ago in Ireland, I started building Treehouse. Treehouse was a co-working space. A co-working space where people come in to work, entrepreneurs and freelancers and all of that stuff. And to my investors, I did this thing called the top-down strategy. And the top-down strategy is when you paint the big dream and you say, there are 150 million people around the world who want to use the co-working space. If I get 1%, which is 1.5 million, and I charge them $200, we're all going to be minted. That's a someday dream. To the bootstrapper, you've got today. What do you have today? Well, you look and you say, I've got 10,000 square feet. I can put about 100 people on here. If I charge them each $200, that's the baby step I'm going to take today. reality today. Bottom up is reality. That's where you start. You keep the dream close. One day you'll get to 150 million people, but right now you work what you've got. That's the bottom up strategy. So those are my top 5 tips for today. Next episode, we're going to do the next 5 on how to bootstrap. Hopefully that's really helpful. If you like this, please like the video. Please subscribe. We've got videos coming out every single week to help you in your business. And comment. Let me know what some of your bootstrapping ideas are. Maybe I'll include it in the next episode. Thank you. Bye. And there's one particular question that I really love this week. I was captivated by it. And the question is, Dan, did you fake it till you made it?